It's insane. I mean, when I started with you guys in April, I had like 200 followers
Yeah.
and I just hit 64K today.
When did it start to take off?
I want to say within the first 2 months. I mean, it was kind of like immediate. Like I would say within the first 30 days, like my reels immediately started performing better. And that was really from working with you guys.
All right, what's up, everybody? Today we have my friend, client Brent with us. We've been helping Brent for a while. He's a fitness coach and he's been crushing it. So I wanted to do a quick interview with him, bring him on, have a quick chat. And so, yeah, that's what we're doing today. Brent, introduce yourself, bro.
Yeah, Brent, 36. I'm a dad and I started working with Launch back in April 2025. Just working on the fitness content. I provide coaching for busy guys, busy dads, and we've been ripping it since
You've
early
been
this
super
spring.
ripping it, bro. You've been super.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
crazy because every time I look at your page, I'm not just saying this for the video, but every time I look at your page, I'm like, damn, he's up another like 3,000 followers. Like he's
yeah.
crazy.
My fathers are probably sick of it because like every 5, 6 weeks, I gotta post like, "Thank you for hitting this milestone of followers." Like I appreciate it, but like it's insane. I mean, I when I started with you guys in April, I had like 200 followers,
Yeah.
and I just hit 64K today.
Yeah. What, 7 months? Something
Yeah,
like that? Yeah, crazy.
insane.
Crazy. So where you were at 200, and I think you were trying for a while before that. Talk to me about that. Like what got you starting to post content, wanting to post content? What was that time like?
Yeah, so I'll go like way back to like my mindset when I first started before I even came to you guys. Probably around the time my daughter was born, so she's 2.5. I kind of had this realization, and again, I'm a little older. I mentioned I'm 36, so I was mid 30s at that point, and I kind of realized like I wanted to create something that you know I had equity in, right, and that I could
Yeah.
build and create a business because I just kind of felt like one, my dad had passed away a couple months before my daughter was born, and I sort of just had this like, you know, finding myself like, what do I really want to do with my life, and I was bringing this, child into the world, and so for me, it was like I always felt, I had this personality that would do well on social media, and I thought I had something to offer people in the scope of, I became a dad. I was trying to, I was always into working out. I loved it. It was like everyone that knows me is like, yeah, Brent's like the kind of crazy guy that wakes up early and eats really well. And so I was like,
And
how
you're
do I
Jack.
channel
And you're Jack, by the way. I think everyone should know that. You
that?
do good at it.
Yeah. So like it was something I'm good at and I'm passionate about it. And I know people in my personal life would ask me, like, hey, I want to kind of get in shape. I want to lose weight, whatever. And I always help them. So I started posting on social media like 2 years ago, and I probably made two or three accounts, like never really got off the ground. I'd have like a random reel or TikTok or whatever, do okay. But I couldn't build the following, which was what was really killing me. So it was about this time last year. It was January 2025. I decided like this time I'm just going all in, and I'm not going to stop until I find some sort of success. And I didn't even define that. To me, it was just like build an account that actually had followers and people commenting, and see where to go. And, I did that January of 2025 till about April when I reached out to you guys because it just felt like, I was posting and being consistent, but there's just like something missing. And I was like, I need people that have the knowledge
Yeah.
to help me out.
How long did you know about us or me before that?
I'm very online. So like I had Twitter, X, and like I'm big in like that, money and
Yeah.
side hustle space and whatever. So I found your account, not even launch. I mean, I found you probably like over 2 years ago. Um, it would comment when you had the playbooks and stuff, and I would like read that up, and so like I was over time just following you from like a personality perspective and a knowledge perspective. I was like, I like this dude. I like the way he presents stuff.
Thanks.
Um,
Thanks.
and then I just kind of got to that like jumping point and was like, I need to reach out.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Am I the same person on the inside as I am on the
Even
outside?
better, dude.
Okay.
I love it. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
No, you're the man.
No, I appreciate it, bro. Okay, so that was April, and then you kind of just were like, what was the mental sort of like thought process when it came to the jump? Where were you? Where it was like, was it like a fed up sort of thing? What was that?
Yeah, I think it was, just the frustration of in the past, it was like I just stopped, I quit, right? And so like it wasn't that I wasn't doing the work I had to. It was just like not even directionless. Like it wasn't the path I had to follow. And like I kind of got to a point where I was like, I have money, from my 9 to 5. I've been saving money to reinvest and try and help myself. And I was like, why don't I pay someone that knows what they're doing to teach me and save that time on the back end for myself? Because I have my daughter and my job and
Yeah.
trying to do this on the side is like, why am I smashing my head against the wall when I could just work with people that know what they're doing and expedite that pathway to getting to where I wanted to be?
Hell yeah. And when did it start to take off?
I want to say within the first 2 months. I mean, it was kind of like immediate. Like I would say within the first 30 days, like my reels immediately started performing better. And that was really from working with you guys like on the message, right? And trying to figure out like, yeah, I think in the past my problem was like I was making content for myself and not making it for the audience that I wanted to consume it. And you guys really helped me dial that, and a lot with a ton of other tweaks like style and how things look and how things are framed, um and just like drilling it down. But yeah, within the first 30 days, like the first couple reels I worked with you guys on, like immediately did better than
Oh yeah.
anything that because I was stuck in that. I was doing the typical like, oh, I'm definitely shadow banned, like my
Yeah.
account, I'm getting 200 views, I can't get more. And then it was like immediately like we made a couple tweaks and it was like 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, and then it was just like rocket fuel from that
For
point
the
forward.
time, because the group calls, it was kind of like inching up every week. And then before you know it, it was just like, oh, Brent's at 20, 30K followers. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. And
Um,
yeah, insane. And that's all it was. It was just like compounding effects on the stuff that I was learning,
yeah.
and iterating it every day. Like that was probably the most important thing that sorry, not to cut you off. That was probably the most important thing too, is like you guys are like, it's a volume like you need to do this over and over and again and get the reps in. And that was super helpful for me.
Well, that's kind of one of my points is what I was about to make was you were already posting a bunch of content. And it's so easy for the person that's posting a bunch of content to just accept the small tweaks, the small little changes, and you add up maybe 15 tiny tweaks with a big message change, and like before you know it, it's just performing, and it's easy for you because you're already making the videos. You're just making the videos slightly different. And I think that's also one of the pieces is you were already super committed to it, all in. You were already posting a crazy amount. It was just little like tiny changes, and it just went crazy. Um, so yeah,
Yeah.
on that point of volume.
Yeah. No, you mentioned like the group calls. That was super helpful because for me too, like this, I don't know. I don't know if you guys sell this enough, but what was cool for me is like I'm so isolated in like my personal life. Like I'm the only, not to like pat myself on my back, but like I don't know anyone else that I'm super tight with that's trying to build something, right, while they have a job. And I'm doing that. I'm trying to keep in shape, which is like the
Yeah.
crux of my content. I'm trying to be a good dad. I'm trying to be a provider. I'm working my 9 to 5. I like having that community of like you guys and the call and like the Discord and everything to just pop in and see other people doing well, talking about the same stuff I'm interested in. Like that was such like a mental boost for me to be like hell yeah. Like there are a lot of people out here that like you, like and Joe and like the other guys on the team, like It's such like an intangible thing, but it was
I
so
should talk
important
about
to
it
me.
more probably.
Yeah,
I appreciate you saying that. I think something that happens for me sometimes, and I'll just say it candidly for you and the audience, is like I forget kind of where I came from a little bit, and that hurts me because I was that guy that was isolated too. I was 18, just dropped out of college. Obviously, a different time in my life than you, but I was 18, dropped out of college. I had nobody to talk to about this other than my dad, and my dad's much older, but there was nobody my age or similar that I could talk to about it until I got on Twitter, and I got it through networking with people and growing my account, and then starting little communities and meeting other people that were creating content and that sort of thing. So very similar to what you just mentioned is yeah, that was a big point for me. I was like, I'm a loner, there's nobody.
yeah, yeah.
Which
No,
is
it's
interesting too,
like
because you're in Jersey. So, oh shit, I don't know if you want to say that on camera,
no,
but
it's all good.
you're in Jersey, so it's like you're by New York City. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a ton of people there kind of doing it, and you still are kind of saying that, it's tough.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's like, it's probably a mixture of where I'm at in life and my age. Like, and if anyone ever sees this, they're gonna be like, "Ah, Brian's talking shit." But like, for me, it's just like I think a lot of people they get to like their 30s or mid 30s, they start a family, and they're kind of just like, "This is it. Like, this is life now. Like, I gotta like work the job and get the promotions and chase that grind that they
Yeah.
see everyone else doing around them and like they don't think like I could build something because they think like they're past that point. They're like, like I'm too old, So like for me in particular, it's like I really felt that like no one else is trying to do what I'm trying to do right now. And it was, again, isolating. So like huge, huge, huge boost for me to just see a group of like people on the calls every week being like, this is what I'm working on. Like I'm building this, like I have this brand, I'm doing that. And, it's just awesome. Like
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
super helpful.
And within that, because obviously, I mean, we're already 12 minutes in, so I don't want to go crazy. But within that, like, where's the growth at now? Obviously, you launched an offer. That's new. I mean, we should talk about that. You launched an offer.
Yeah.
How has that been? Obviously, taking sales calls, learning that sort of kind of process is a whole different thing than the growth. What's that been like?
Yeah, no, dude. I mean, and we had a conversation probably a couple months ago where it was like, my growth was so fast. And then launching in July, my offer, and I've been working on that ever since while trying to build the account still. Um, there was this hard transition phase for me too, where it was like I said to you pretty straight up, I was like, I have to start treating this like it's a real business, like it's a real thing now. It's not, because it was there's that ramp up phase where it was just like I'm just trying to figure out how to post content and that content is successful, that brings people in, that grows my account, and then I did that, and I did that at such an extreme scale so quickly it was insane. Like I didn't know what I was doing. Like when my offer first came out, like I was just kind of like, I have this idea of what it'll look like, and like I have guys that are like willing to pay me to join and do that and trust me. And so now I've kind of graduated from like drinking out of a fire hose and like trying to figure out a million things, fulfillment and how do I actually coach people and get the results that they want and how do I market and how do I take sales call? Like all of it at once was crazy. But slowly, kind of like the content like ramp up too. It's like you learn a little bit about marketing here, you learn how to structure a sales call there. You learn more about fulfillment and how to actually deliver what you're promising people. Um, and so now I've kind of graduated to this point where it's like now it's time to scale. Like I kind of did it trial by fire, and now it's like let's grow this like as big as I possibly can, like to the moon.
Yep. And which is what we're obviously working on
Yep.
now with some of these next steps. Editor, maybe some sales team stuff next, that sort of thing, which is getting fun. I think you told us something about there's too many people to talk to because obviously you're still working the job, obviously you have your family. What was it something about there's too many people to talk to or like too much content to do where you can't keep up with it or like what
Yeah, it was
is that
just
what it
it.
was?
It was just like my daily bandwidth was just like getting tapped because again, like I my whole thing is I get up around 4:30 to work out. So I do that before my day even starts because my day is so crazy between coaching and making content and working my 9 to 5. Um, I just didn't have the bandwidth anymore to scale like living that life because I have a good job. Like I do well, like generally speaking. And so my time is really capped to super early mornings or like after my daughter goes down, which is like 7:30, 8 p.m. And then I'm smoked because I wake up at 4:30. So it's like what are the biggest needle movers and like how do I allocate my time and like the reality is like some of that time I just have to like figure out other ways to leverage it with other people, other resources.
Which obviously is next step now, so it can keep going
Yep.
and grow. Like I look at your audience and I'm like, dude, we gotta get this thing to 50K a month. Because at 50K a month, that's where it's like this makes sense. You know, you got 64K, you're growing fast, which I think is next up.
Yeah.
What's been the biggest month so far?
Revenue wise, it was just under 15K.
Nice,
That was like my third month. Like no idea what I was doing.
pretty crazy, pretty crazy.
Yeah.
You know what you're doing now,
Insane.
though. I hope we
Yeah.
help you get to that
Oh,
point.
dude. It's like it's funny. It's like one of those things. It's like every week I like look back and would be like, man, that guy was like a fucking idiot. Like, so I don't know if I can curse on this, but like that guy didn't know like what he was
Yeah.
doing a week ago, you know? So it's just like continually growing and acquiring more skills, honing them and building. So
Oh, yeah, bro. Cool. I don't want this to drag on too long because obviously you and I have some stuff to do after this and work on. But big question: what would you say is the big thing that someone should know before they might consider working with us, or they're maybe thinking about taking that jump? They're watching this video right now. What should they know?
yeah, I think there's two things. I think one, and we hit on it before, I think the commitment level is like huge. Like you have to be willing to, like I tell myself this all the time, it's like you have to be willing to be bad at this stuff and trust the process and the resources that the team's providing you. And just stick with that longer than like any like rational person would, because like people are I'm gonna go off on a tangent, but people are like so soft now. Like they think like everything should just like come to them and like it should be like the minimum threshold possible of work that they have to put in. But I think like to really excel, like you have like having you and Joe and George and like all the guys on the team like available to help you is such an insane edge that people outside the program don't even realize they're missing. So like if you just commit to that and being like, I don't know what I'm doing, these people clearly do. I'm going to trust the process and just show up every single day and follow through. Like that's exactly how I went from like 200 followers to 64,000 followers in like 6, 7 months. That's it. Like
Hell yeah.
you guys know what you're doing.
I appreciate it, bro. Thank you. And you said I think that was one thing, right? You said there was a second.
Yeah, I guess I blended them. It was the commitment and then just being like willing to be bad at stuff, but trust the process. You know, I think you combine those two together and you just are kind of a dog about it and show up every day and chase after what you want to accomplish. Like they're like there's no ceiling.
And you know what I'll also say is like there's clues in your life that also show that you've done that previous. You have a great job, you have a great family, you're also in great shape. Of course the business is going to work too if you just carry those same habits in. You know how to work. And I'm not saying that anyone watching this if you don't know how to work, it's not going to work for you, but like Brent is committed. That's why it's worked for him. That's why everyone that you can see going through any of our testimonials like why it's worked for them. They've been committed. They just showed up. They did the thing. They said, okay. They said 1+1 = 2. 1+1 = 2. I'm gonna do this, and that's kind of what Brent's saying. I think,
100%.
dude. Any last things you want to leave with anyone that's watching this?
Just do it. Just jump. What I did and it paid off. You just gotta have faith and commit.
Thanks, man. I appreciate
Appreciate
it.
it,
I
bro.
appreciate you. Appreciate your time, and doing this. Guys, if you want to check out Brent's brand, obviously I'll link it below so you guys can check it out, see what you got going on. Additionally, if you want to work with us, obviously the link's below, and see you guys on some of the next videos. Thanks, Brent. Appreciate you, bro.
You got it.